Good evening. Welcome to Coffee Talk number 419. It is 7 p.m. on Sunday, March the 23rd. And I'm drinking Nescafe coffee with French vanilla creamer. And I'm slurping it. Good evening, Uncle Al. Thy Bullfrog 79. How are you doing? Welcome to Coffee Talk, Uncle Al. You just missed me wolfing down a chili cheese dog. I'm trying to get it in before I started the live stream. Had a spare one from yesterday. I don't like to waste food, and the wife didn't eat the two that I brought her. Mike K is release his video. Oh, Mike K released a video. Okay, well, I'm going to go over and watch it when I get a chance. He's my go-to. I did a water storage video today, which I need to do some, well, I got it put together, and now I need to do the description, and I need to do all that stuff, and I haven't done that yet, and when I do, I'll release it. Yes, chili dogs are good. It was a chili cheese dog with onions. I bought my wife two of them with French fries, and she ate one. She didn't like it because she said it had mustard on it. She doesn't like mustard. My wife is a finicky eater. It amazes me. I grew up rather affluent, and I ate well, and I ate what they fed me. And my wife is very particular about what she will eat, and she grew up poor. And I don't understand that. You would think that anytime she gets good food, that she would just, but I mean, she's very particular about what she eats. She'll go hungry rather than eat something that she doesn't like. And I would eat whatever is put in front of me. Well, I go back to work tomorrow. Um, I'll be getting up about 5. I'll be there about 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. And then I got a busy day ahead of me. I understand, Uncle Al. I understand. Some of these people who are very, it's like I've told my kid, I've told different people that I'm close to. I said, if something happens and you're with me, you'll eat what I give you, or you won't eat. And I mean, I got lots of good food stored up, but perhaps you don't like oatmeal, or perhaps you don't like white rice, or perhaps you don't like beans, or you don't like. I'm sorry, you're going to eat what I give you, or you're not going to eat. You know. And there are some people, and then they say, well, in that case, I'll eat what I'm given. Like if it's a situation of me, in an emergency situation, you eat what's available or you don't eat. Well, then they say, well, yeah, I'll eat then. But, you know, Joseph Moore, how are you doing, Joseph? I think part of the problem these days is that we've got people spoiled. They're spoiled. And they're not made to do what they're told. Back in the day, you listened to what your parents told you, or they beat the hell out of you. If you did not want the hell beat out of you, you did what you were told. Old school. And they weren't kind when they beat you either. They'd use whatever they had. KP Heathen, how are you doing? That's the reason why the educational system is the way it is. Because, back in the days when I was growing up, if you didn't behave, the teacher had a paddle and the teacher would paddle you. They didn't call your parent. God help you if they called your parent. They would take you aside and they would paddle you. They weren't writing a referral to the office. They just took you aside and they beat your ass. And there may be some witnesses. And the knowledge that your ass would be beat if you didn't behave made most people behave. They knew, behave or you get your ass beat. It's not like that today. It's the reason why things are the way they are. Enrique Trevino, how are you doing? Like, I've been told that I enjoyed paddling kids. No, I really didn't. It's something I had to do. Very rarely did I enjoy paddling a kid. If it was a real little SOB that really, a little stinker, yeah, when I got them, I would enjoy that. But most kids I didn't. That I had to paddle them. They did something that warranted paddling, and I really didn't enjoy it. Now, if it was a kid that was constantly getting in trouble, that was a little bit different. Well, my father talked about police, and Uncle Al doesn't like me telling stories, but when I was a little boy, my father told me about the lockup downtown in Corpus. It was over in the crosstown, right near the black section of town. And the lockup, they had these steps that led down to the basement on the outside, and they were concrete. And he would say, if they gave the police a hard time, they went down face first. They just sling them down the steps face first and let them hit. That would teach them, and plus, that would probably take the fight out of them. And that was a story my father told me. Back in the day, my father used to carry a police club. I forget what it was made out of, but it was dark, it was black. It's about yay long. It had a little leather strap on it where you could, and the business end, pretty around, hard, heavy wood. He used to carry that in the car with him. Little Lone Prepper, how are you doing? Yeah, my father used to carry that. He carried a Colt revolver, one of those police specials, 4-inch barrel, blued. He had an old-timey Western setup with it, where he'd wear it when he'd out riding horseback or whatever, and he had bullets along the rear where he could pull them out. Old school. Yep. Probably oak. Probably oak. Yeah, we had animals. We had a lot of land back in the day while we still had it. It was ancestral lands. And, he had a couple of people working for him that would basically feed the animals, take care of them during the week, because he worked. He'd go out in the evening, or Saturday, Sunday. He'd go out a couple of times a week during the evening, and check on them. We'd get eggs. He had goats. They would butcher, you know, and we had meat. You know, a few head of cattle, a few pigs, a couple of donkeys, horses. He loved horseback riding. He used to love going on trail rides. And then Uncle Al said, Stop reminiscing! Stop reminiscing!" I'm waiting for some people to get into the hello, Bud Files. I mean, I was paddled twice in school, once in sixth grade and once in seventh grade. In sixth grade, I got paddled for having a fight in the playground with this other kid, redneck kid. And in seventh grade, I got picked up by, like, the teacher basically pulled up four of us. We were snickering, and she gave each of us a couple pops. What's tonight's topic? Oh, we're going to talk about Lord, mentorship or government handout survival manuals. I guess we're going to talk a little bit about mentorship and about survival manuals. And I'm drinking Nescafe coffee. And I did a video today on water storage. I took a 3-gallon stackable container jug, and I took 3 1-gallon bottles of water, and I put them in the 3-gallon jug, and explained that it's stackable, basically what it cost. And it will be a video that I will load up probably tomorrow. I've got to do some description stuff with it, but the video's already put together. And hopefully it'll be enjoyable. I did it out on my front porch. So it's a little bit of change of scenery. See France panicking, giving an incomplete survival handbook to each household in France. Take notes, please don't say this. Okay, don't say this. Hand-on guidance and direction is the best. Most desperate governments hand out bad to good survival manuals to their citizens. During World War II, Japan, Germany, Russia had the worst, full of propaganda, empty promises, and outdated survival measures. Italy was the weakest handout. Black powder cartridges, weapons, hardtack, and cheese. The book was used for TP. All propaganda, no useful information. America and UK was the best. However, over the years, it got bad. Too many survival myths like go into the woods, heavy go bag, t-shirts, shorts, and Crocs are great for the outdoors. Now the liberal leftists and Democrats are handing out their survival manuals. Joke by the shades of Adolf. Mostly propaganda, acts of terrorists, and some basic survival techniques like the Hamas handbook for college students. People are stupid. Fall for this nonsense. Be prepared, not fear-mongering. Well, what do you think about so far? Mom of 4 boys. Hello, Mom of 4 boys. In buying space. Hello, Myra. Rachel. It's Lady M. Hello, Lady M. Next subject, improving your intro skills and your ending skills. Dead air and fidgeting. Am I fidgeting? Do I fidget? Is there dead air? Sometimes there's Nescafe coffee. Be professional about live streams. Well, I'm not really dressed professionally. I'm wearing an old gray t-shirt, shorts. Been working all day outside, helping the wife, doing some cleaning on the patio, soaping down all the cushions and everything so she can wash them off, let them dry. Limit yourself on politics and propaganda. News is okay. See Prepping with Sarge, news shorts. To the point and verified. Well, it's like when I put out a Coffee Talk News. I mean, I try to put out stuff based upon reliable information I receive off the internet. Remember mentorship. Not handing out survival book in a panic state. See France. I don't really hand out survival books. I've thought about handing out some medical stuff, like, information. You can get brochures and such that are laminated on medical the basics and such. I've thought about putting those in my goodie boxes. I may start doing that. Don't forget to post. Do a small unboxing. Show a first aid or a survival book. Show a can of food for today's show. Keep it simple. I finished the coffee. Seven watching and 11 likes. Okay. Feel free to drop your link, Lady M. Let's see. Oh. Oops. What was that? It fell. A prepper medical manual. The ultimate readiness guide for medical emergencies and disaster situations. James C. Jones, co-founder of Live Free America or Live Free USA. Be prepared to face any medical emergency with this essential guide. Skyhorse Publishing Incorporated, New York, New York. www.skyhorsepublishing.com. Prepper's Medical Manual. It's been a while since I've shown this one. I haven't read it. Something I picked up. Some pictures of my baby in this one that I put in there. The Survival Handbook, new edition. I got this one at Sam's. The other one I ordered off of Amazon. Take on the toughest challenges that nature can throw at you. Survival basics. Get fit, gear up, and plan your expedition. Campcraft. Choose the best campsite. Find water and make fire. On the trail, navigate with or without a compass, night or day. In the wilderness, build a shelter and catch and cook wild food. Extreme survival, learn essential first aid techniques, improvise and survive, and get found or land on land or at sea. Written by Colin Towell, military survival specialist. This one's got lots of pictures with it throughout the book. Well, that's a couple of them. Mike Crusher. Hello, Mike. I heard you were uploading something. Did you manage to do an upload on one of your new meals? Chinese food. Oh, did he do one on Chinese food? Yes, I'm using an iPad. I'm using a 10th generation iPad. Mirror, mirror on the screen. Yeah, I don't know why it's reversed. I don't know why. You used to give away Bibles. That's the only book we need. Yeah, I used to give away Bibles when I was a Gideon. I still give a few scriptures here and there to people. Canadian IMP shells and ricotta next. Okay. Was a tasty chicken stir fry. Okay. I look forward to looking at it. Have you noticed that I'm one of the few people that I push that button at the end that shows how many minutes I watched? Like I watched the entire, I'll go down through, I'm doing a follow-up. Like you might have released something or somebody released something a week before and there may be 20 comments in there and not one of them hit that button that shows that they watched the entire video. So I really don't think a lot of these people are watching your entire video. Whereas with me, I hit that button because I watched the whole thing, and that is proof, that little blue, and it tells you how much time. It usually coincides within a few seconds of the end of your video. So that's something that I do, and I don't think a lot of people do that, Mike. Seven in the house. 10 likes. Here's one. How to use a compass. Guide to becoming an expert navigator with a trusty compass. A fantastic little guide to learning how to use a compass. Thank you, Uncle Al. You know, I'll tell you something else. You go into analytics and you can punch up on your recent videos that you've done or live streams, whatever, and it'll give you statistics after the initial, you know, and it'll tell you how many additional people have viewed it, and it'll tell you how much additional watch time it has brought in. And usually I'll have an extra 1.2 hours, 1.5 hours of additional watch time. So when you have 3 or 4 people say that they watched the entire thing afterwards, my question is, well, which one of them actually did? Because if you look at the amount of watch time that it says has transpired, that's not like I got an extra 5 watch hours because an extra 5 people, you know, watched a 1-hour video. Just saying. The other thing is, I don't know if you get additional credit from a person if they're with you the full time and then they go and rewatch it. I don't know if you get that extra watch time, and that might be a thing. Like, well, I watched it and then I rewatched it, and maybe you got credit for it once when the initial broadcast where you got your initial 10, 12 hours of watch time. And maybe they watched it again, but you didn't get any additional watch time. Now, if you watch it on a different channel, or if you got like a backup channel, watch it on your backup channel, and I think you get credit for that. Here's one that I've read and I've taken notes on. I've got little placeholders for notes. Prepper's Water Purification Survival Bible: How to Find, Harvest, Filter, Purify, and Store Water Off the Grid. Jonathan Nash. This one I've read. This one I've actually read. What happens when you turn on the tap and no water runs out? That happened about 8 years ago when Hurricane Harvey. I was without water for the better part of a week, running water. Or you are far from civilization and fresh water. We can go at most for 3 days without drinkable water, but what then? In this practical and easy to follow guide, you will discover how quickly you can dehydrate, what the warning signs are, and how to avoid severe dehydration, how to assess your water needs and current resources, and come up with the best plans to ensure a reliable water supply, what is required to store enough water at home safely, the best ways to store water for longer periods of time, the secret to maintaining proper sanitation even when there is no running water, based on proven methods used in drought-stricken parts of the world, where to find water in an emergency and how to know if it is safe to drink or not, how to make sure water is safe to drink by filtering and purifying it, using many different methods based on what you have at hand. Discover how to secure water supplies today. This one I've read, and it is, and it's got a bibliography of sources he went through. This one's just about 115 pages. And what did I pay for it? Oh, dear God. What did I pay for this one? Doesn't have a price on it. I ordered it off of Amazon, I'm pretty sure. Copyright 2022. Got a nice contents. So you can look up different little issues and such. Excuse me. Oh. Battery died. Not my battery. Does not work if the L. Lincoln. I dehydrate very quickly. Yes, I have an adrenal issue that causes my sodium to bottom out. Get a Silcock key if you plan to move through urban environments. Yep. It's a good book. Thank you. I have heard that you can watch a video up to 5 times. Appreciate you watching twice. I need to get back into, and I haven't been doing it since my wife's been having all of her health issue flare-ups in the fall. I stopped doing it. But I was in a group that we would run each other's live streams. We would basically do a playlist, and I had like 5, 6, 7 people that I would regularly run their live stream and replay club, and I would get an extra 6 or 7 hours of watch time for my live stream. And the ones that I was running, a lot of them, they do an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I would try to limit it to, an hour and a half or 2 hours. And overnight, so that I could, if it was 2 hours each, then in a 10-hour period, I could basically run 5 live streams. And I probably could get back into doing that again. But it's not about the watch time, it's about the views now. Once you're monetized, it's not really about the watch time, it's about the views. And I guess it would be about the ads playing, that too. Yeah, yeah, it's true. That's true. You got to watch out where the water's coming from. And you can be in a bad way. You really can be in a bad way if you don't watch out. Five in the house. 11 likes. So going over it again, it is a good idea to have somebody that can mentor you or teach you, somebody who's more advanced, more knowledgeable, that can teach you about anything, really. If you're interested in something, find somebody who's good at it. Find somebody who's experienced at it, and see if you can learn from them and take notes and mentor with them. Get them to mentor you. Acquiring a good quality manual, something that gives you information without having to carry an encyclopedia around. Like they put out hurricane preparedness, FEMA, lists of things that you should have, the basics. Doesn't cost you anything. They give them out. Usually your electric company will send you something prior to hurricane season if you're along the coast. They'll give you stuff that suggests things that you should have, the amounts you should have, what you should do. You know, passing on what you know. In emergency situations, governments will pass out pamphlets, or they'll pass out information that they want you to know, or what they would advise you to do. Sometimes it's good advice, sometimes it's not. Like the idea during World War II, they always talked about victory gardens. They were rationing items, and you would get ration coupons, which would allow you to buy or acquire a certain amount. It limited you because they had to send stuff to the troops. They had almost 10 million people under arms during World War II. We did. And you know, you don't want propaganda, you want stuff that's useful. If you're doing a video, you don't want dead air time if you can avoid it. You want to be professional. I try to present myself respectfully, and I don't. I mean, this is a amateur operation. I try to do it the best I can. I don't have a staff. I don't have producers. I don't have tech people working for me. My equipment is somewhat limited. My lighting is limited. If I had 100,000 people subscribe to me, where I had a lot coming in, I'd do more. I'd be able to do more. But the other thing is that I get my money from my job. I work. I get retirement. I also have to work a couple more years so I can get Social Security. I'm working right now, so I get a paycheck in addition to retirement. And that's my bread and butter. And so don't say it's a hobby. Well, it is sort of a hobby, but it's like a calling, or it's like a ministry. You're teaching. Teaching is a ministry, and it's like me teaching stuff to a certain extent. If you're basically talking about the news and talking about stuff that's going on, you want to use reliable sources, and you want to know that what you're saying is basically truthful. You got to sort of verify it. Why would people be putting off fireworks today? Is it a holiday? No, it's spring break. Usually they don't sell fireworks. They sell fireworks usually about a week before New Year's, and they sell fireworks about a week before the 4th of July. So a couple of times a year, the fireworks are going. They're selling fireworks. Sometimes you hear a loud pop. It's a pistol or it's a gun. It's not necessarily a firework. But it depends on where you're at. They're not shooting guns. And, you know, if you're in the city, that's probably not gunshots firing up, firing off. It's probably fireworks. If you're out in the country, could be somebody with a pistol or, with a gun. Could be drunks, Uncle Al. During the Cold War, the government also told students that in case of a nuclear blast, they should crawl under their desks. Yeah. I don't know. The other thing is, people buy a lot of fireworks. They don't pop them all. They get together for a party, and then they start, shooting their fireworks. I don't really care for firecrackers, but I used to like the little bottle rockets and stuff that would, give you sparks and everything, or that would give you, a colorful display. I like that kind of stuff. I wasn't really into fireworks or firecrackers. But I've got a nice video that I'm going to put out. It's about 6 minutes, I think, on water storage. Just an example. I did it on my front porch. I've got to do the description and get it, loaded up, and I'll get it loaded up probably tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get it loaded up tomorrow. I did a short, went to Aldi's, bought groceries. I showed some of it, and I did a short, less than a minute. And I loaded that up. And then I had the Coffee Talk News number 6. And I've put up a couple of videos. I think one of them's got about 60 views. Put it up a day or so ago. Please, if you would, if you want to support me, and I mean, you're supporting me by being here, leave me a like and a comment on my videos. Remember, when I get to 1900, I'll be doing a 1900 subscriber giveaway. There's probably not going to be that many people that will qualify for it, because to qualify, you have to leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I will have released when I hit 1900. And last time I had 14 people. 14 people. So as I had said, my wife went to Harbor Freight and had bought an auger, a gas auger. And I was only able to get the thing to start once. And I mean, I must have pulled it a couple hundred times. I got it to start and run it for about a minute and then turned it off. And I could not get it to start again. And I will also say this about the augers. You'll have people, big, strong people, and they hold it with one hand. And I can't do that. My wife had to hold it for me while I pulled it, because if I tried to hold it and pull it, I couldn't. And she can't pull it at all. So the only way that we could get the thing to try to start it, to give it where you could yank the cord out, and I'm not as strong as I used to be, is that she'd have to hold it in place, and then I'd hold it with one hand, and then I'd pull it, and I'd jerk the hell out of it, and I just couldn't get started. So she took it back, and we paid a restocking fee, and she wound up digging because she wanted to put some potted plants that she had. She wanted to put them in the ground. She had like 6 or 7 potted plants she wanted to put in the ground. So she wound up digging the holes with a shovel, sharpshooter, I guess you call it. And she did that. The auger. I usually do pretty well with Harbor Freight tools, but not with that. And they didn't have any, like, they didn't have one that like we could replace. It was the last one, and then they couldn't tell you when it was going to come, when they get an order in. Um, when I used to be before I went back into education, I used to be over at Walmart. You have these handhelds, and when your supply ran out, the order would automatically be made. You didn't have to make the order. The computer, the software would make the order, and then it would tell you when the next order will come in. And they weren't able to tell. Oh, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They couldn't tell her when they get some more in. Oh, well, we got them over in Port Lavaca. Well, do I want to drive right at 30 miles to go pick up one in Port Lavaca? To do an exchange, pick one in Port Lavaca, 30 miles back? Hell no. You know, nope. There's nothing over there. It probably has a population about half the size of Victoria, but I didn't have any desire to go over there. Yoda, my friend, blessed life. Well, did you get to 100,000 subscribers yet? I'm in 3 lives. Well, God bless you, Dave. I think he's up to close to 8,000 subscribers now. You know, wouldn't it be great if when you get like several thousand subscribers and you do a video or you do a stream or whatever, you have 1,000 people come into it, or you have 1,000 views, you know, as opposed to 25 or 30 or 50 views. When I was a lot more active previously, and at that time I had 1,000, 1,200 subscribers, I could do a video or I could do a stream, and I'd have a couple hundred people come to my live stream. I could do a video, and the first day I'd have 100 views, the second day I'd have 200 views, the third day I'd be going on 300 views, and then start slowing down. And I'd wind up having 400 views or so, between 400 and 500 views, and I'd have 100 likes and maybe 50, 75 comments from people. Now, 25, 30 views. The one I did on making coffee, I think it's got about 60 views. I did about a day and a half ago. I think it's got about 60 views. That's pretty good for me. I did one on making coffee with a camp stove. I think this one on the water storage is going to probably be the same way. It'll get 50, 60 views. But I mean, for me having close to 2,000 subscribers, you know, yeah, I've got just under 1,900 subscribers, but there aren't that many people that are consistently viewing my stuff. I've got 40, 50 people. If I go and I look back to different people over the period of a week, maybe 50 people that consistently within every few days or some every day that watch me, maybe 50 people. I need 2 more machetes and 2,700 more followers. Yeah, Uncle Al's at about 2,300. And I mean, I don't begrudge anybody who's got a bigger channel than I do. I don't begrudge you. Got to replace a roofer's hatchet broke during practice. You know, at one time, I used to like to throw knives. I had throwing knives, a couple of braces, a brace is a pair. So I had like 4 throwing knives, and I would practice throwing knives. And I mean, and I've thrown hatchets at a, you know, way back in the days. Um, I wouldn't tell you that that's a good way for that's a good this ninja crap. I wouldn't think anything about that. Um, Being good with bow and arrow, like a compound bow, or you know, being good with bow and arrows, that probably would be something that you could use, like the silent, you know, for hunting or for defense or whatever. If you're good at it, if you know what you're doing, you got good, decent equipment. But do I think everyone's a prepper now? I think the people who are watching me are probably, to a certain extent, picking up some of the things that they need to do. I mean, it doesn't cost you a lot of money for basic preparedness. You can spend a lot of money, or you can spend a little money. But the idea is, and Uncle Al doesn't like me to say this, but having, you know, 15, 20 gallons of bottled water stored up, having canned foods, spare canned foods that you will eat, having freeze-dried foods, having a little camp stove with some camped heat or whatever. I mean, like, I buy, you know, this is like $20. Each of these will burn for 6 hours. You light them and put them out. About a bunch of this. Having that, having plenty of matches, having hygiene products, you know, having a 5-gallon can with 13-gallon trash bags, toilet paper, wet wipes, you know, hygiene wipes, toilet seat, plastic toilet seat, knowing how to, you know, for sanitary, having a camp shower, you know, one that'll hold 3 gallons, 5 gallons of water with the setup. That way you're outside. Idaho Garden Girl, hello. Thank you for coming. How are you doing, Stephanie? Everyone in Florida stocks up once a year at minimum. Yep. A pew pew. Okay, that's good. I like a 357 with plus P, 38 special plus P, a 38 plus P, hollow points, 3-inch barrel, 4-inch barrel's fine, 3-inch barrel. I don't like snub nosed. Speed loaders. I mean, I've got 9mm, 380, 32, 22, but my preferred is a Lady Smith that was my mother's, and you know, good for close in, up to 15, 20 yards probably, if you know what you're doing. Need to practice with it. I used to have a membership to a gun range in Corpus, the Sharpshooter. I got a new propane-powered instant hot shower for $5 at a yard sale. Not sure if it will be using my propane for it, though. Still too cold to plant outside, but cleaning up the yard and garden. That's what my wife's been doing. Oh, and we transferred the new generation of chicks. We transferred them into the new chicken coop, the chicken condo. I said I was going to do a video, and I hadn't done it yet, but I'll do a video of them. They hide. I went out there and I looked at them. There were a few out. Most of them were inside, but there were a couple out in the yard. And when they saw me, they took off like bats out of hell. Little bastards. Excuse my language. They took off. I guess I scared them. Thank you, Uncle Al. Appreciate you coming in. Uncle Al's a really good guy. He's old school. He knows what he's talking about. He puts out really good information. He puts out good information. He's a good friend and mentor. We exchange, send each other stuff periodically. And I'm at the point now where a lot of you that I've sent stuff to, I've sent initial boxes of stuff. I'm thinking about sending a second box with other stuff in it. I've done that for some people. And there are a few people we exchange back and forth that I've made 3 or 4 exchanges with. They always want to retaliate when I send them something. But I'll try to get that water storage video loaded up tomorrow. Hope y'all watch it. To me, it's a good video. It's not that long. It's just an example where I show how easy it is to do it. You get a 3-gallon bottle, storage bottle with a handle. You get 3 1-gallon jugs of water. You pour them in the container, and they're stackable. So I stack mine 4 high, and it's not that hard to develop a supply of it. And right now, you know, those jugs are about $8 if you get them at Walmart. And the water bottles, the 1-gallon water bottles, which you can refill, they're refillable. You don't throw them away. They got handles, carry handles. I'd refill them. And they're a little over $1 a piece. So probably I got about $12 into that, what I just loaded up today. And I got a bunch of those. I got a bunch of them. And it's water storage, clean water. And that's basically what you want, is you want to have clean water, something that you don't have to worry about. Because, you know, once you run down on that and you have to start finding another source, that's when you got to really worry about, is it clean, and purifying it and boiling it and all that sort of stuff. You got to worry about that. Because you get some bad water, it'll kill you. So that being said, I got to go to work tomorrow, so I need to basically get about my business. Appreciate y'all coming in. Remember, you get up in the morning, thank God for the day. take your medicine, drink some coffee, say the Lord's Prayer, contemplate the day, be an example, set an example, treat people the way you want to be treated. Life is good, but it is what it is, and things happen. So everybody, please have a good evening, and hopefully, and I will post if I'm going to do a live stream during the week. I may or may not. It depends on how things go. Thank you, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.